Hey, my friends. Okay, so today we are here to talk about radical self love. And I have a clients in 30 minutes. So I'm going to do my best to keep this relatively short, at least less than 30 minutes. I even set an alarm because I could easily forget and then be late for my client. So today we're going to really talk about how radical self love completely recalibrates and expands your nervous system so that you can become the most both peaceful and powerful force in your own life, in your own business, and also so that you can accelerate your results. In some ways, self-love makes you rejection proof. It makes you fearless. It allows you to start to really own and claim your bigness, your expertise, your authority, your leadership, which then starts to ripple in everything you do and in the way you show up in every area of your life. It allows you to become magnetic. It allows you to have some deep sense of clarity as to what your next right steps are. And it almost allows people to start trusting you and to start really wanting the expansion that they're sensing in you. And so because they sense that expansion and they want it in some ways, whether it's in relationships or in business, they start to want to be around you. So it actually becomes, especially for those of you who are entrepreneurs, which is most of my audience, it becomes a sales magnifier, a sales accelerator. So it is one of the most powerful ways to heal ourselves, as well as to essentially start to achieve what it is that we want to achieve in our life and in our business. Okay, so that's what we're kind of going to go over. I'm going to do both. I'm going to kind of go a little deeper on why and how it shifts you and it shifts your life. And then at the end, I'm going to give you 2 or 3 different practices or ways that you can start to really embody and practice this self-love, but also like this sense of being whole and knowing without any fucking doubt that you belong here and you deserve to receive what you want, which is, they're all aspects and ripples of self-love. From a nervous system perspective, because I have to mention the nervous system, it's my thing, but from the nervous system perspective, self-love is literally the most powerful, the most nourishing, the most healing energy to allow your nervous system to come out of that contraction, out of that sense of not being enough, of not feeling safe, into expansion and into anchoring yourself into what I call the ground, the unwavering, inexhaustible ground of safety and trust, which when you can anchor your body, your identity, your nervous system, your sense of self into that unwavering, inexhaustible ground of safety and trust, everything becomes possible. You literally start to give yourself permission to be and do anything you want. And you start to move from this place of real courage, real fearlessness, and a real sense of being supported from within, like you have your own back, but also supported by life. So that's what we're going to kind of cover. This is the broad stroke intro, and we're going to go a little deeper, and then I'm going to give you practices. So let me introduce myself first before I go into it. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Ilsa. Welcome. You're in the right place if you want to have more ease and joy in your growth journey. Personally, I'm a complete spiritual nerd. I'm a bookworm. I'm a dog mama. I live in Boulder, Colorado with my husband and our 2 dogs. And professionally, over the last 18 years or so, a little more maybe at this point, I've worked as a psychotherapist, an expansion expert, and a strategist for entrepreneurs and leaders. I essentially teach my clients how to rewire their nervous system, their lives, their bodies, and their businesses for more of everything they desire without all that rub, without second guessing themselves, without stressing, without pushing, without sabotaging. For me, it's all about that sense of deep joy, of emotional freedom in the creation of financial freedom. You need that foundation of emotional freedom and personal freedom in everything we do. So that's kind of what my work is about. And if you're ready to shift out of that sense of contraction, of not-enoughness, of limitedness into first regulation and then expansion, and you want to learn how to unlock the potency, the power of your nervous system, so that you can become that most powerful, that most peaceful, that most loving force in your life, in your relationships, and also in your business, then I want to invite you to book one of my Wired for Wealth intensive. If you're new to me, I usually open 2 to 4 of those a month at 60% off. It's one-on-one, 90 minutes with me. I teach you exactly what my process is to come out of that contraction state into the expansion and receiving state, essentially. And we also discover what's been in your way of thriving, of achieving the results that you want. You also get a recorded practice of my hatching process that you can use as well as a cheat sheet. So it really sets you up to have everything you need in case you decide to not continue to work with me. I leave you with a lot of value at that 60% off. So if you want to find out more about that, just click the description, the link in the description. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start by making a powerful claim. The most damaging thing to your results is essentially a contracted nervous system. So what is going to hold you back the most? What is going to make you feel afraid to take courageous action? What is going to make you feel like you're not good enough or you don't deserve to receive at the level that you desire to receive is a contracted nervous system. And so when your nervous system is contracted, it's going to really keep you in a place of doubting yourself, doubting what is possible. It's going to kill your momentum. And it's also going to make you unattractive to others because they can feel in their nervous system, they can feel your own contraction. They can feel your lack of calm and certainty and conviction in what you're doing. And it's not that you don't believe in the work you do. It's literally that something in you won't allow you to really quite step into it fully. So our nervous system, especially when it's contracted, is literally wired to keep us small, to keep us silent, to keep us safe, essentially. To our nervous system, visibility, expansive growth, receiving and having more than what we're used to feels dangerous. And so because it feels unsafe, because it feels dangerous, because it feels new and out of your comfort zone, then the nervous system contracts and literally starts to sabotage our growth. It does everything it can to keep us in a place where we are safe. And, I'm not one of these people who believe that everything you want is on the other side of your comfort zone. I don't believe that at all. I actually believe that when you expand the nervous system, when you regulate first, and then you start to liberate and expand the nervous system, you actually start to expand your comfort zone. And so it's not that you're moving outside your comfort zone, is that suddenly your capacity has increased. So your capacity to become more visible, your capacity to take certain powerful actions has increased. Your capacity to hold and receive more has increased. So that's what we're doing. As we're working with the nervous system, you literally no longer need to step out of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone literally expands so that you have more room to show up powerfully. when our nervous system is contracted, our confidence is sapped, and short-term results tend to define our state of mind and sap our enthusiasm. And this is especially true in business. For a lot of us, we have to forego short-term results and stay anchored in possibility so that we can actually have the results that we desire. And so when your nervous system is contracted, every little setback, every sense at first that people don't want what you have, or that you're not getting the response that you want, will literally shove you back into your shell, shove you back into being small, and almost force you to give up too quickly, which will kill that progress, that momentum that you're used to. It will also create a loss of excitement, of energy, of belief in yourself and in what you're doing. So that's what we want to forego and release in some ways. And self-love is one of the most powerful ways to essentially create this amazing buffer so that you don't have to feel that sense of loss, that sense of rejection, that sense of not enoughness anymore. And you become almost infallible. You become untouchable by these short-term results, and your sense of possibility and trust in the long-term potential of what you're doing doesn't get shaken, essentially. One of the things I work on first with clients, before even looking at strategy, before even focusing on expansive growth in their life and business, is really rewiring the nervous system towards self-love, helping them to really completely fall in love with themselves exactly as they are, so that they can start to feel safe, essentially claiming what they want. And they can start to feel safe that they get to succeed exactly as they are, that they essentially are enough without feeling like they have to change themselves, improve themselves, prove themselves, fix themselves, or become someone else in some way. Um, one of the things for me was always this sense like I could feel like video and doing these kind of training was the way I would bring in clients. But I'm not like a super extroverted person. I'm definitely not the kind of person who's going to sing and dance and do all of this silliness on video. I'm naturally a calm and sort of deep person. And that's the kind of conversation I wanted to have even in my marketing. And at some point, I had to really own that I get to succeed as me, and I get to succeed doing it my way. And that was a ripple of self-love. If I have one message for you, especially as an entrepreneur, is that you get to succeed as you. And if it starts to feel like you can't be yourself to get what you want, whether that's in business or in relationships for that matter in your life, if you start to feel like it's not okay to be you, or you have to be more like this or less of that, then you have a contraction around self-love in your nervous system. And that, for me, this concept that we get to succeed exactly as who we are is one of the most powerful things that we can anchor in and embody. The knowing that in the end, there is nothing lacking, nothing missing, nothing broken inside us. And that we get to actually create everything we desire, being exactly ourselves. That is the power of self-love. Because when we truly embody that in mind and heart and body, we become unstoppable. And we become deeply magnetic to the people around us because, like I said, they want that calm confidence that they're sensing in us. Here's the truth. All of us have parts of ourselves who feel traumatized, who feel fundamentally damaged, who feel not enough, who feel unlovable. We all have parts like that inside us. But we also have a version of us who is always already free, a version of us who is full of herself, himself, themself, all on its own, and a version of us who is completely whole already. When you start to work with self-love, you literally start to anchor your identity away from the part of you, the parts of you that are wounded, into the part of you who is whole already. And what that does is it actually allows you to start to turn towards everything in you that is scared, that doesn't feel enough, that is wounded, and to start to offer what it's been craving so that it too can feel whole. So you start to anchor yourself into this part of you that is sovereign, that is already free. And you allow yourself then to have enough strength, enough sense of ground to be able to do this self-love practice and to turn towards everything in you that doesn't feel enough, and to provide them what I call the missing experience. And that missing experience essentially allows them to start to relax and to start to come into, like, just essentially every part of you starts to come into themselves, itself, into its fullness. And you reclaim pieces of yourself that essentially, through conditioning, through trauma, through rejection and disappointment and grief, have gone into hiding. They've gone into contraction, out of a sense of safety and need. And these parts start to actually, through self-love, feel like it's okay for them to exist, and it's okay for them to open, and it's okay for them to be fully here. And they release something powerful back to you so that you can use that in your life and in your business. Self-love helps you shift at the root anything within you that says, I am not enough. I am lacking in some way. It is not safe for me to be me. I can't succeed as me. It's not safe for me to be seen, to be visible. It's not safe for me to be big and to claim this big purpose that I have. And it helps you. So it helps you heal all of that. And it helps you bring all of that into expansion. And it helps you anchor your identity into that version of you who is fully already whole, accomplished, free, fearless. So that is the power of self-love in some way. When I work with clients in my proprietary process that I do with clients, there's 5 core missing experiences. And I did a training, I don't know, maybe a month ago on that, on like these 5 core missing experiences. If you want them, actually just put training in the comment if you missed that, and I will send you the link directly to that training. But essentially, self-love is the second step in that process. And it is one of the foundational piece to essentially providing ourselves what we were missing to truly step into expansion, into fullness, into safety, and into sovereignty, so that we can grow and thrive and receive with ease, without sabotaging ourselves, without being afraid that it's too much, without getting overwhelmed. When you feel loved and you feel held in love, when all those young wounded parts inside you feel loved and held in love, you end up steeped in safety. That's what I was talking about. Like, you start to anchor into this unwavering and inexhaustible ground of trust and safety. When you do that, your mind literally calms and expands, allowing you to have clarity, allowing you to feel secure, allowing you to trust your process and to trust yourself and to trust that the outcome, your results are coming. your body starts to relax, to open, and to repair itself back to its original state of well-being and wholeness. Like, this is not something I talk a lot about because I'm not a physician, and I don't work with healing like physical ailments, but it's actually one of the first thing I see in my clients. Like, aches and pains that they've had for years dissolve, chronic fatigue dissolves, symptoms that they have from something else start to lessen or even dissolve. So this kind of work, self-love, is literally a healing balm to the body and to the nervous system, essentially. And the other thing that happens when you are grounded in this unwavering, inexhaustible ground of safety and trust is that it totally increases, like it literally pushes out that line of comfort zone, and it totally increases your capacity to show up powerfully, your capacity to receive and hold a lot more with ease. It essentially shifts your receiving paradigm. All right, this is my alarm telling me that I need to start wrapping it up. I'm going to look at my notes, see if there's anything really powerful that I want to share with you, and then I'm going to give you these practices, and this is going to be our work for today. So the other thing, and I've mentioned this, is because self-love gives you the full permission to be who you are, you stop doubting yourself, and you start to really welcome in and claim your authority and your power, and you start to unbind your magic and your genius completely and proudly. You stop hiding, essentially. You stop playing small. You stop playing the humble game and apologizing for who you are and the fact that you are here to create something big. You start to really take your seat in your authority and in your sovereignty. And the truth is, there is nothing more attractive to others than that. Even if you start to think about all the people you have either invested in, you've invested in them usually because they feel safe and you feel like you can relate to them, but you've also invested in them usually because they hold a sort of sovereignty, a sort of authority, a sort of calm certainty that you want for yourself. So self-love is about rewiring ourselves completely to feel worthy, to feel capable, to feel deserving of succeeding in all areas of our lives, being exactly ourselves, and to feel safe showing up exactly as ourselves. And the truth is, especially in business, that is the foundation of success. So self-love is kind of your ticket there. Including knowing with self-love that even when you're a mess, you're still anchored in that sovereignty, in that freedom, in that expansion, and you're still brilliant. You're still a powerful presence, even when you're a mess. And so that's part of why it makes you rejection and failure proof, because nothing really phases you anymore. Like, through self-love that you've got what it takes. And it doesn't matter if you've got the flu. It doesn't matter if you're going through a loss. It doesn't matter if you've got some big drama going on in your home. You trust your fullness completely. So in the end, self-love is that radical welcoming of ourselves, of everything within us that makes us unique and special, including often the very things that we have denied, that we have rejected, that we have tried to get rid of or hide away. These things actually have and they hold our power. And through self-love, we make it safe for everything within us to start to come forward and to start to release that powerful magic that was held in that contraction, essentially. All right, so I'm moving through my notes here. I am sure that there are some powerful things you're not going to get to hear, but the truth is, I talk too much, and I gave you the true depth of this. Just know that all those wounded parts inside you, all these contractions that have come through conditioning, through trauma, through disappointment, through grief, through rejection in your past, through feeling unsafe, all these contractions, they hold a powerful magic inside them. And when you start to really anchor your identity in that self within you, that part of you that is sovereign, that is whole, that is free, and you start to turn towards everything inside you that is wounded, and you start to provide that healing balm of love, essentially, these parts, they start to relax. They start to essentially say, it's safe for me to come back. It's safe for me to show up and be seen. It's safe for me to be here. It's safe for me to be the fullness of myself. And when that happens, whatever little magic was held in them is released back to you. And you get to use that power. You get to use that magic. You get to use that life force to live, to grow your business, to have the clarity, the calm, the power that you want in your life. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few practices that you can do. And if you want to learn how to do this with my process, then click that link where you get 60% off of that 90-minute one-on-one, because I'm going to take you exactly through that process. I just don't like to teach it on video because I like to tweak it and do it with you. Okay, so here are a few practices. Before you say yes to someone or something, before you're making an important decision, you want to ask yourself, if I knew in my bones that it is truly safe to be me and to receive what I want, what choice would I make? You want to start embodying that part of you who is whole, who is free. And you want to start training your brain and your body to sense into a paradigm, a reality where it is safe to be you and you get to have what you want. And you want to start making decisions from that place of love, from that place of honoring who you are. And essentially start to follow the answer to that question. If it was truly safe to be me, if it was truly safe to have what I want, then what would I choose? Would I say yes to this? Would I decide to go this way? What that will do is it will allow you to start making decisions from a place of expansion rather than from a place of contraction. And it will start to allow you to unravel whatever conditioning we have been fed that stays staying small, staying silent, hiding away, and pleasing others is what is safe. So that is one thing that you can do. When you start to really connect to that version of you who loves themselves unconditionally, who honors and values themselves, who never abandons their own needs and wants for the benefit of another, then you'll actually start to anchor and rewire your whole body to be that version of you and to live and make decisions from that perspective. And you can do this in everything in your life. Your eating habits, how would that version of you eat? Your parenting, how would that version of you handle the circumstance that's happening in your home? How you spend your time, how would that version of you spend her time, his time? You know, like you start to figure out what is worth your attention. What do you want to put effort in? And you actually start to step away from what does not nourish you. So another practice you can do is whenever you sense that something in you is overwhelmed, something in you wants to hide, something in you is judging themselves or is stuck in some form of resistance, rather than being hard on yourself, rather than forging on and pushing forward, you want to take a moment to stop and come home to you. And you want to almost ask yourself, if this was a small child struggling or a scared, wounded baby animal, And there's that small child and that, or that scared baby animal that's living in my body. How might I approach it? How might I tell it that it is safe to be here, that I'm here, that I'm going to take care of it? How might I, what tone of voice might I use? How might I touch it? How might I soothe it? How might I let it know that it is safe and I'm here to help? When you imagine yourself reaching towards a small child that's struggling, a baby, a wounded, scared baby animal, and wanting to soothe it, wanting to let it know that it is safe, that you're here, that you're going to take care of it. Once you have a sense of that, then I want you to turn towards that part of you that is overwhelmed, that is scared, that is drained, that is judging itself, that is in resistance. And I want you to say those words in that tone of voice to yourself. Hey, sweetheart, I feel your fear. It's okay. I'm right here. We're going to figure this out together. Slowly but surely. You get to take your time. Whatever is going to feel really good. So that's what I have for you. And if you want to experience this work in more depth, then just click the link. All right, guys.